I've had one or two emails just recently about GDPR and doorbells, and I don't want anybody to be alarmed and panicked to think that GDPR does apply to doorbells. Indeed, it does, but it depends on your specific setup and situation. So if your doorbell is filming anyone outside of the curtilage of your own property, so if you were to draw a line, a bit like those land registry maps, if you were to draw a line around your property like a red line, if your camera is filming anything outside of that line, and more importantly, if it is capturing people coming and going from the property, and even more importantly than that, the audio conversations. Why is that more important? Well, you can hear what people are saying, you can hear their conversations, and if it's recording them, then obviously it is storing that information, and it is information and data about an identifiable individual. And so if your camera is capturing people outside of the curtilage of your own property by a fixed camera, which is recording and storing 24/7, then GDPR will apply. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go out and register with the ICO as a data protection controller and pay the fee and all of that sort of stuff, but it does mean that you need to comply with the most basic fundamental principles of data protection law. That meaning that the data and information that you gather, such as filming of when these people come and go and their conversations, if you do capture those, I'll come back to that in a minute, then you need to do that securely, and you need to only use it and store it for the purposes that it was originally gathered for. And so if you are gathering it for security purposes to protect your home, which is the only real justification for having that stored, to protect the safety of your house, in the case of burglars, intruders and things like that, then you need to be only using it for that purpose. Now, some of the emails that I've had, people have misunderstood what the GDPR application is to cameras such as these, misunderstanding it, thinking that it's something else, or thinking that it doesn't apply at all, which is not the case, because these cases have already been to court and GDPR very much does apply in these situations. So if someone has, for example, stored lots of video footage and used it for a nefarious purpose, let's say that they are threatening the neighbor to say they are going to send it to somebody else to prove when they are coming and going. In the one case, the Fairhurst and Woodard case that went to court, the defendant in that case had said that he'd sent this material to the police and made reports to the police, which the judge found that he had not. And so that was misuse of that information that was gathered. So it amounted to both harassment and breach of data protection. So this was one such case where it went to court, and there was a circuit judge, Melissa Clark, decided that she was going to hear this case to essentially put to bed what a circuit judge of the county court would make of all of these matters. Now, important to understand that county court decisions are not binding on other courts, but they are going to be significantly persuasive in that these issues have already been looked at, the law has been looked at, and so the judge has already decided how they might apply in that situation. So if future cases do come to court and the issues are broadly similar, you can bet that that is how the court is going to look at these issues and the law and the application thereof. So whilst I don't want anyone to panic about GDPR applying to your doorbell or any other kind of CCTV camera, you do need to understand that you cannot simply use that footage however you like. So for example, I've heard of stories where people have filmed someone outside their property coming and going. They've put it on social media platforms for other people to see, and they've criticized it, ridiculed it, and ultimately that might amount to harassment of your neighbor. Especially if you're doing that all the time and you're doing it day in and day out, that could have a significantly detrimental effect on your neighbor. They could well make a claim for harassment against you. So do bear that in mind. You don't need to panic, but you do need to comply with these basic requirements. I hope you found that interesting. If you do, please button the like button and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the view. I hope to be doing many more of these now that the summer is almost upon us. Thanks for watching. See you next time.